Good evening, entrepreneurs. Welcome to the Justice Nicole YouTube. I am the entrepreneur enthusiast. So what that means is exactly what it says. I am highly enthusiastic about people becoming entrepreneurs to start the legacy for those that are coming after them, the generations to come, and those that are here with us now. So every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'll be hosting Generation Entrepreneurship. So this is just going to be quick tips just to the basics of being an entrepreneur and what entrepreneurship actually is. So please tune in for those every Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then every first and third Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to do the Minority Entrepreneurist. So entrepreneur enthusiast means entrepreneurist. So the minority entrepreneurs, that's what I am. I want to make sure that our minority business owners are actually represented through this YouTube channel. So I'll be highlighting entrepreneurs that, in my opinion, are out here killing the game. So please tune in every first and third Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to tune into those minority entrepreneurist highlights. So after all that, you're probably like, who is this person talking to me, right? Who is Justice Nicole? Why should you listen to me and why should you tune into those two things? Well, first and foremost, I need everybody to understand people are entrepreneurs at 5 and 6 years old. Many people look at the entrepreneur as that guy in Silicon Valley that just created the first billion-dollar company. But the kids that are selling candy at your church outings and asking if they can sacrifice their precious weekends, and that is no sarcasm because I was that kid, their precious weekends to help you clean out your garage, watch your kids, or help you move stuff from your storage unit just for some quick cash. Those are entrepreneurs as well. All entrepreneurs. So I'm going to give you my entrepreneur timeline, and hopefully that'll answer your question as to why you should be listening to me, who am I, and why you should be tuning in to these next couple segments that will be coming on this channel. So in my opinion, the best way for me to give my timeline is through my age. My birthday is May 22nd, 1994, so I just turned 27 last week, hence the balloons behind me, because my birthday's smack dab in the middle of the year, and going by year just isn't going to give you all of the good stuff that it needs to. So let's start it. Timeline. My entrepreneurial timeline. So let's start here. Age 14. This was my first job, personal assisting the manager of an R&B artist in LA. So these people were Sheila Gray and Kalel the King. That was my first real shot at entrepreneurship. I was involved with all of the background logistics of each project, and I genuinely was the driving force to ensure that all the client resources were being utilized to the best of their capacity and getting paid based on my strengths and passions. Yes, at 14 years old. So that's something major that all entrepreneurs should figure out. What are my strengths? What am I passionate about? After I realized my main strength and passion was my ability to actually make clients' visions their reality, I built on that. So then skip on to 15 years old. First time putting myself and my skill sets out there to build my client roster. That's what being an entrepreneur is all about. That's how you get paid, is your clients, right? Instead of getting paid from this corporation, I'm getting paid by individual clients, if not leading up to those bigger corporations. So for myself, what I did was at 15 years old, I created a resume with my experience as a personal assistant for the past year, my school accolades like track, cross country, and then my church activities like youth choir, mentorship programs, and feed the needy volunteering. So I went business to business asking to be a receptionist. That, in my opinion, was the easiest thing to do. At this time, it was legal age in California to work at 15 years old. So that's what I did. Business to business, marketing myself. The first person that gave me a job opportunity was an entrepreneur who owned her own spa. And she gave me a call a couple days later, and she asked me to come and interview to be the receptionist. And not just the receptionist, but also somebody to kind of build her brand and build her social media presence, creating Groupons, creating those ads to make sure that people are coming to her business. Please, guys, go visit this spa today. It's still open. I actually was working there up until my senior summers in college. So go visit Arlene Skincare, still open, still operating today in Simi Valley, California. So that's another thing that I would tell all entrepreneurs to think about. What can I do today to step out of my comfort zone and take it just the next step, or just to take the first step, right? So that was out of my comfort zone, going door to door to businesses and not knowing, who was actually going to call me back. But thank God she did. So at 16 years old was my first time working a real job, right? So I had just got my first car and I decided, hey, I can do this real job thing. All my high school friends are doing it. They're raving about it. They love it. So shout out to Panera Bread at the Jan's Marketplace for giving me my first real job. Loved it. Still go there on a regular basis to get my U-Pick 2 and my green tea. Okay, period. But by this time, I was out living my best high school life, right? And my mom made it clear. She was like, I am not paying for this stuff that you're doing. I understand you got a car, but you need to pay for the gas, the insurance, and all your extracurriculars that you're doing. You need to be the one to make sure that they actually happen. Don't mind showing up for the events. I'm your number one supporter. But right now, I'm a single mother, have 2 kids right now that I'm putting through school, and I myself am working 2 or 3 jobs. Totally understandable. Me seeing my mom work gave me even more passion to work myself, right? So that real job is what paid for my gas, my car insurance, the food that I was eating for my weekend outings. So what I would encourage all entrepreneurs to ask themselves also is, what can I sacrifice today to get what I want tomorrow? My thought process was not working a quote unquote real job, but I would sacrifice that to make sure that I can get the things that I need paid for, have the fun that I want to have, do the things that I want to do, and in my opinion, live my best life, right? So ask that question, what can I sacrifice? At 17 years old, so moving on a little bit further, at 17 years old, I was working 4 jobs at the same dang time, right? Yeah, 4. So I never quit or got fired from any of the other jobs that I had been working for the past 3 years. So I kept all of those jobs. And my mom always told us there's 24 hours in a day. It's all up to you on what you do with it. And if I planned my schedule down to the T, which I did, I could make it all shake. So Tuesdays and Thursdays, I worked 2 jobs. Mondays and Wednesdays, I worked the other 2 jobs. And Fridays and Saturdays, I alternated jobs for those that closed like before 8 o'clock so that I could, still go out, hang out with my friends, and actually reap the benefit of me working all of these jobs. So that was something very big for me at a very young age, work-life balance. What am I doing right now that will actually help me benefit, whether that's just for the weekend or for the longevity of my life? So best believe every Sunday morning, I would be up singing in the praise team and saying, won't he do it? Okay. But that was my 17-year-old life, working back to back at least Monday through Saturday, and then still enjoying my time as a high school student and enjoying my life. So all of these are questions, like I said, that I feel entrepreneurs should be asking themselves. So this one, am I actively creating a weekly schedule that will utilize the 24 hours I have in a day to its optimum capacity? Deep question, but you need to ask yourself. So let's make sure that we're creating a schedule weekly that will actually do that. 18 years old. I graduated high school and moved to Atlanta, Georgia to get my bachelor's degree in business administration at Clark Atlanta University. Shout out to the illustrious, okay? But yes, luckily, my first client when I was 14 years old had moved here years prior and was working with a studio in Midtown, Icon Studios. Shout out to Icon Studios. And I got right back to it. Executive director to the A&R of the studio. But college life is a little different than high school, okay? Definitely need to be more mature. Definitely need to have your head on straight. You're definitely dealing with more real life problems. So, baby girl, my grades, life, and honestly, my reputation said, guess again. So I decided to take a step back and, just remove myself from that work life as much as I was and focus on school for the last semester of my freshman year to not only pass, but keep the scholarships that I had obtained just to even get here. So after that, passed, thank you, Jesus, still stayed on the Dean's List Scholar, still got all of my scholarships that I had the prior year to NAACP, Honda Scholarship, all of the above, so I could still go into school for the next year. So I needed a job to cover the summer leading into my sophomore year, and so I started working for Lush Cosmetics. Shout out to Lush Cosmetics, still using them and their handmade products to this day. So at 19 years old, that's when I actually pledged Alpha Pi chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, and I crossed my second semester of sophomore year. I didn't have the mental, in my opinion, mental maturity to handle a part-time job, college studies, and maybe I shouldn't say in my opinion because they fired me. So they thought I didn't have the mental capacity, okay? Or the mental maturity to handle, the part-time job, college studies, and joining a sorority at the same time. But I knew what I wanted for my future, so another entrepreneurial analysis, always put yourself out there and try new things. You only have one life to live, so live it to the fullest. And even as an entrepreneur, you have to do this. So with this new network of college-educated women of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, I was exposed to opportunities and resources that I could only literally dream of. So thank you, shout out a million times. So at 20 years old, move on our timeline. One of my line sisters, Sydney, Shop City and Naya Boutique, referred me to the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And one of the cast members actually was looking for an assistant, Kenya Moore. So I worked with Kenya for 2 years, and that helped me realize that entrepreneurship really was for me. Seeing a Black woman that came from California just like me, on her own, not married or dependent on a man. She was an actress, a model, pageant queen, now starring in a reality TV show, owning her own hair care line, and at the time when I was working for her, building her 4-story, 4-bedroom, 2-guest room, and 2-kitchen mansion. Yeah, entrepreneur her, okay? Period. But that helped me realize that it's time for me to do this for me. I love to help other people, and that is my passion, and of course I will always do that, but I need to start my entrepreneurial journey. But at 22 years old, in 2016, I was presented the opportunity to start my own company, 100% funded by a business partner and a family member, choosing anything I am passionate about to make a business out of. You give me an inch, I'll take a mile, okay? But by the end of that year, our errands had launched. So the personal assistant for everyday people, please feel free to click and go to the hippopotamus link. But yes, that's what I created. So 2017, I took on another degree, a supply chain management degree. I was the last AKA on Clark Atlanta University's campus, and I was building out this company. By the end of 2017, I had interviewed, vet, trained, and hired over 200 college-educated assistants to be on the platform. We had contracts with MARTA, Delta Airlines, and festivals all around Metro Atlanta. We assisted in the Georgia Dome implosion, and I was doing pitch competitions at least every week and winning. So this was my authentic self, living my passion, my dream, and working to ensure that it ultimately was a success. So at 23 years old, move on our timeline, mid-2018, the business got accepted into a startup accelerator program, Comcast NBC Universal's The Farm. Amazing! Literally. The mentorships, the resources, the networking opportunity was irreplaceable. So in August of 2018, Comcast NBC Universal signed off to pilot our errands, and the new pivot, it was presented by my business partner. And I was let go as COO of that company. Finally reading my contracts in full, it said that I had owned less of the company that I had built than Comcast, who had been working with us for just short of maybe 3 months. So just to be completely transparent, which that's what my channel is about, transparency all the way, okay? So me, I owned 8%. Comcast owned 12 to 13%. And my business partner, who was 100% funding everything, which we will get deeper into this and into do's and don'ts in starting your business. But there's a difference between financial equity and sweat equity, of course, but both are equity. And he was 56% owner. And 23% was left for other investors if they wanted to come in and partner with us as well. All totaling out to be, of course, 100% of the company. Me 8%, Comcast 13%, my business partner 56%, leaving 23%. Right? Okay. And as an entrepreneur, you'll learn, or if you don't already know, anybody owning more than 50% of a company is the majority owner. So they can cancel out veto anything that anybody else that owns less than what they own has to say. Hence me being asked to step down as COO. And this is where I messed up. Read your contracts, people. Read your contracts, okay? But I was 22 years old, living my dream. Someone said they'd fund everything for me to create a business of my passion, and I did not do my due diligence to cover my business butt, period. So for almost 2 years after that, I was depressed. I was applying for jobs that I knew my expertise and my skill set surpassed. I was applying for these real jobs as well, but all those jobs were saying that my clients that were on my resume ultimately did not meet their required experience standards. So I was trying to be happy, but totally dissatisfied with my life. And when I don't live in my purpose, I'm never 100% satisfied. And I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs can probably say the same thing. So, bam, bam, bam. March 2020, global pandemic. That's when everything kind of shifted. So leading on down to June 2020 of last year, I lost my job as we all had to quarantine. So God said, let's go ahead and put you back on track, girl. The way that you've been living your life is doing, the bare minimum to make sure that your bills are paid, that, that everything that you set up for yourself is still going accordingly, but you are not happy. You're not living your passion, and you're not doing what I called you to do and the purpose that I have for your life. So after fighting myself tooth and nail, I created Building Businesses, LLC. And I hired my first 3 assistants to be contracted out to clients. So I decided then I will never be a part of something that's not progressing me and my purpose. Come 2021, I have contracted over 10 event staff and personal assistants for high-level events and clients. And I've decided it's time for me to share my story and help others realize their passion, their purpose, and profitability. I am a strong believer in your purpose can create your profitability. With the right tools, the right support system, you can make this shake. I know this intro was long, but I hope it shed light on why I started this page, and it shows how passionate I am in helping other people fulfill their purpose. So, like I said at the beginning of this, my name is Justice Nicole. I am an entrepreneur enthusiast. I believe in you as an entrepreneur to start your legacy and set the foundation for you to really get on this entrepreneur journey. So tune in, okay? Every Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our Generation Entrepreneurship, quick tips for the basics of entrepreneurship, and every first and third Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Minority Entrepreneurist, highlighting entrepreneurs that, in my opinion, are killing the game. And even just based on this intro alone, I'm sure that you've seen the different entrepreneurs that I've highlighted just quickly, so I know that you'll be tuning in to see them be highlighted in those segments as well. Thank you so much, and please do not forget to subscribe.